It's time for the Straight Up Wrestling Show.
What's up, everybody? It's HBT with Straight Up Wrestling Show, guys, coming to you live. Man, coming to you live and just gonna talk about a little bit of wrestling and what's going on in wrestling today, man. Hey, the last thing, really, to tell you the truth, last thing I watched was Money in the Bank. You know, Chris got to watch Monday Night Raw. I did not get to watch Monday Night Raw. Sorry about that. And I haven't watched anything since then. But basically, I'm going to talk about wrestling and what's going on today, man. How it's making me feel and the way that I perceive that maybe the fans are seeing it too. I mean, we got a lot of crazy things going on here today in wrestling with Jey Uso losing that title. We also have Naomi won the Money in the Bank. So it's a bunch of crazy things happening. I did not get to see AEW yesterday, so I can't really comment on that. But I can comment about Fyter Fest that we saw last week. We did do that. You know, we did do Fyter Fest. So I do want to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to talk about ratings, guys, how ratings are going and the way I see wrestling going. Hey, man, and I just want to ask, straight up, hey, I'm asking people if wrestling can stay alive, man. I want to know if it can stay alive. And, I mean, it's always going to be here in some form or fashion. But, wow, man. Wow. All I can really say, and to tell you the truth, it's going downhill, man. It is going down the hill. What in the world's going on with my... Wow, I'm wondering if I'm getting any... Give me just a second, guys. Give me just a second. I want to make sure that everything is going fine here. Okay, just 1 second. That's the wrong thing. It could seem to me that everything's going pretty slow here, but maybe not. But maybe it's just my iPad. Doesn't seem to be picking everything up. So give me a minute here, guys. Just want to be able to, because usually I use my iPad to pick everything up here, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. All right, so give me just a second here. All right, guys. But I see we got some people up in the building. I'm definitely going to acknowledge y'all. I see Black Rain 7920 in the house. I see Alma Clark is in the house. Let's see. Lucas is in the house. All right. Let's see. Got a couple other people. Okay. Rope 3R, ROP 3R. How you feel about Ron Killing's return? I definitely will talk about that. Alma Clark, Raymond Underwood. My man Ray is in the building. Ray, I definitely still got to call you. I see you in the house. Appreciate you being in the house, man. I definitely got to call you. But I'm going to talk about Ron Killer's return, too. And all I can say with that right now, only thing I can say is WWE really threw me for a loop. I'm not shocked that they re-signed him. They definitely re-signed him. But they did throw me for a loop. And I'm talking about as far as the storylines, the shortness of the vague storylines that they do have in wrestling today, and especially the WWE, the vague storylines, that just, it threw me for a loop. It really did. And I definitely want to talk about Cody Rhodes, talk about John Cena. So we're going to talk about a few different subjects here, guys, and what's going on as far as in the women's wrestling, too. We'll talk about that, too. But, yeah, just give me a moment here. Definitely give me a moment here. Let's see. I want to make sure I share things. And I should have did some other things I should have done before I got on here. but definitely will go and get everything satisfied here, everything straightened out. I did interview this guy earlier today. I had to interview him on Facebook with Facebook because StreamYard was not working. I didn't know what was going on with StreamYard. StreamYard was down for a while, so I did not get to do it on StreamYard. And I'm gonna put that after this show is over. I'm gonna put that on StreamYard. So you guys, if you see me live, I'm not really live because StreamYard will say you're live and you're not live. Okay. Okay, I'm doing a couple things here. All right, guys. Let me get on to some of these comments here, and then we're gonna move on from there. Okay, we'll move on from there. We'll talk about the situation, talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling today. And like I said, man, hey, my question is for y'all. I'm asking people if wrestling can stay alive. I see Will Rally Sport is in the house. What's up, Will Rally Sport? I want to know, man, can wrestling stay alive? Can this era of wrestling, can it rocket wrestling on to the, on into the future? And we still have it. And I mean, we still have it. I just don't know. I mean, they are losing fans like crazy, and it does not matter that the WWE wants to continue on. The WWE is telling everybody, hey, we're making all these record profits. We're making a whole bunch of money. They're not doing that like they were last year, the last couple of years. I mean, it was always a sellout. We had record profits and all that. They definitely not doing that now, but they are still saying that they having sellouts and everything like that. That last show, that Money in the Bank, that was not a sellout. It was very close. I mean, it was a lot of people there, but it definitely wasn't a sellout. All right, my man Chris Thompson is in the building. What's up, Chris Thompson? My man Dump Truck is in the building. Appreciate you coming in. All right, man. But yeah, I'm going to go up and down. I need to go back and check out everybody's comments here. But yeah, I'm trying to get myself caught up in what I'm doing. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment here. All right, let me go back up here for a second. Get all the comments here. Man, what's up with the howdy doody thing? Lucas says howdy doody. Oh, howdy, folks. Chris and Harry and me. All right. All right, that's cool, man. That's definitely cool. That's definitely cool. All right. Alma Clark says, what's up, Harry and Christopher? How are y'all doing this evening? I'm doing pretty good. Resting up some. Just ate dinner, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. All right. Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. You can't get much better than that. Alma Clark, and I'm glad that you're doing pretty good. All right. Black Rain says, what's up? What's up to my man, Black Rain? All right. ROP3R says, how you feel about Ron Killings' return? Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that first, man. Look, Ron Killings, I am not shocked that he came back, but I am shocked that he got in there and he cut his hair. Now, I did want a more serious Ron Killings, R-Truth. I was hoping that that happened a little bit earlier when he was trying to get with Judgment Day, that they would pull him in. And at first he would be, he would have his little goofy stick, hey, doing his little thing, his little comedic thing there with him, and then he would get serious, guys. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was hoping for, that they would change him to a serious opponent at that time and put him in Judgment Day, which I think was a huge mistake by the WWE, by them not taking advantage of Ron Killings, R-Truth, and making him a part of Judgment Day and bringing out that serious R-Truth. Now we have a problem, if you ask me. Now they're going to have to make him serious, but with this serious run, where are you going to place him? Because when it boils down to it, to satisfy the fans, to make this thing satisfactory or to make this thing make sense, you have to put him on some kind of serious run to where he can get a serious title. And when it boils down to it, the only two titles that are really worthy as far as people looking at both of them as a serious title is the two World Heavyweight Championship belts. Well, the World Championship belt and the WWE title. So the title that Gunther has again, and the title that John Cena has. Okay, so now you have a chance to put him in a little feud with John Cena. But do you want to put that title on him? Because if they put that title on him, I know what's going to happen. Because the aim is to put the title back on Cody Rhodes. I'm pretty sure of that. So how long will Ron Killings hold that title once he takes the title off John Cena? And is John Cena are you sure that you want to have John Cena drop the title to him or drop the title back to Cody? So if not that, you have to put him on a path to go out to Gunther to win that title. But how do you want to play R-Truth if you put him in that role? So to me, what you need to do is you need to make Dominic Mysterio, you need to make that thing serious as can be. Put Dominic Mysterio in there against some tougher opponents. Make Dominic Mysterio look even better, and then have R-Truth put him on a path to wrestle Dominic Mysterio and win the Intercontinental Championship. And he goes out as the Intercontinental Champion. I don't know about putting the World Heavyweight Championship on him. Now you can. He's definitely popular enough, but at 52 years old, do you really want to put that title on him and say, okay, here's our world champion? Now, he definitely has the body of a world champion. He has the work ethic to be a world champion, but do you really want to put the world title on him? But I think you could put the world title on a serious R-Truth, Ron Killings, or whatever. You definitely can do it, but you cannot put the title on him for a long time. So they have got to make up their mind. They have got to make a decision on what they're going to do with R-Truth. Or Ron Killings, what they're going to do with him. But hey, good question, ROP 3R. Glad that you joined, man, and rocking with Straight Up Wrestling show tonight. All right, Alma Clark said, y'all, it was a bad situation. With Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega both got badly injured. Oh gosh, especially Omega spitting up blood all over the place, uncalled for by the Rainmaker and the Don Callis family. Wow, I have not seen that, Alma. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and check that out. I forgot it was 4 hours yesterday, or I would have got on. I forgot all about it and thought it was 2 hours, and basically me and Chris got in like 9 something. We was gonna miss it. All right, Ray says, hello, Harry and Straight Up Wrestling family. All right, Lucas says, good news. What's going on, Lucas? Lucas says, StreamYard is back. Yes, I couldn't get on a little bit earlier today. I was wondering what was up. Will Riley Sport, hi, Harry, just watching TNA and watching you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. All right, Raymond says, did you see what Triple H said to the reporters after the show about R-Truth? Yes, I saw that. Flat out crazy, man. Definitely did not have that in the plans. They know it, and I think now they are taking that serious, that the fans are pretty much fed up. So definitely, he was going to have to say that, try to save face, because a few weeks before that, all he was saying is, hey, we don't need the fans. The real fans are in the crowd, yeeting and everything like that. That's the things that he was saying. And people have pretty much been backing away. Man, do not get so arrogant that you think these wrestling fans won't go and do something else. Go and check other things out. When you hurt their feelings, man, hey, people will up and skedaddle, get on out of there. But yeah, I think they are realizing that, and I see Triple H is having a different tune, straight up. All right, Lucas says send link or else. Lucas, I'm not gonna send a link tonight, man. I'll wait when me and Chris is here. All right, Will Riley Sports says, question, thoughts on Mariah May's new name, Blake Monroe? Did you see that? I did not see that. But I tell you what, I do not like that name, Blake Monroe. Sound like a guy's name. Yes, a woman, there's men and women named Blake, but Blake Monroe, it sounds like a male. And she's a very attractive female, one of these glamorous type people. You definitely don't want to put a name like Blake Monroe on her. I just don't know where in the world that's coming from. But I think that was a rush thing. You need to let her come up with her own, or get a whole bunch of women together and let them come up with that name. I guarantee you it was Triple H and probably a couple other males that came up with that name. I do not like it one bit at all. All right, Christine Salsa Girl. Hey, Harry, how are you? I'm doing pretty good, Christine Salsa Girl. Mag Magnum, my man, Mag Magnum is in the house, says, greetings, Harry, and the Straight Up Wrestling Universe. What's up, Mag? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Like that picture earlier today. All right, Will Rally Sports says, with so much wrestling to choose from, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, there's 5 pay-per-views on July the 12th. weekend. Here we go. Ring of Honor pay-per-view Friday the 11th. All in Saturday night main event NXT PLE. Wow, how are fans supposed to watch all that? Laugh out loud. And you know what? A lot of fans will try to watch all of that. Will Rally Sport. It's kind of crazy. It really is. And man, it needs to be some organization, needs to be some structure in wrestling. And as far as the people that's pretty much running these companies, and I'm talking about Tony Khan, Triple H, TKO Holdings, you got to throw them in there, Endeavor, and whoever else is pretty much, hey, in the game. They all need to communicate with each other. They need to get together for the good of wrestling, because wrestling is not going to survive being like this. And I can see why the WWE is doing this. I can see 100% why they're doing this, because the WWE is not grabbing fans from the general population. They're not gaining fans outside of wrestling fans. No matter what the world they say and how popular they are, fans outside of wrestling right now is not gravitating towards any wrestling event. They're just not. Now, on the indie scene, especially here in the Carolinas, we have a lot of groups. We have a lot of fans. We have a lot of shows being ran at breweries and things like that. Market at meal places and things where a lot of people are at. And so they stop and they watch the wrestling show. It's another form of entertainment. Just like somebody with a band get up there with acoustic guitar and start banging out some a few jams or whatever. Same thing. But they watch wrestling. But that don't mean they are wrestling fans. And you have some of these promoters, man, who have gotten delusional out here on the indie wrestling scene, thinking that they're drawing 200 fans now when they used to draw 30. They say, I used to draw 30, now I'm drawing 200 fans. So I must be doing something right. Yeah, you're doing something right. You having this show that you used to have. You made deals with the breweries, made deals with barbecue places, and they have a spot there, and you are doing the shows outside, or they have a spot inside. You're able to do shows there, and you got a couple hundred people that go there on the weekends that like to go and pretty much conglomerate, or what is the word? Pretty much congregate with people and talk to people and have fun. And that's all over Greenville, where I'm from, all over Greenville, man. These big, we have a great downtown eatery, downtown scene. I mean, there's more, just like churches, man. There's more restaurants per square mile than anywhere in the United States in Greenville, South Carolina. So you have a lot of wrestling companies that's pretty much, they are going to Eat Town USA, and they're having their shows, and they go into these market at the mills where a lot of people go out and shop, they go out and eat and things like that. And they say, hey, we're drawing 200 people. No, you're not drawing 200 people. Let's get real about this whole thing. These people don't care nothing about wrestling. I go to some of these shows and you do have the wrestling fans that, they got a great show, and they shaking their head. Oh man, this is a great show compared to these other indie shows. They think this show is great. But I'm like, is it the atmosphere, or is it actually the wrestling show? Because when you see these guys, they don't have a show there and they try to run somewhere else, you see them and you see the fault. You see how they fall down without having that crowd there that's drinking beer, just yelling and screaming. Because all these guys doing is throwing people through doors at these shows. They throwing them through doors. They having tax. They throwing tax out there, throwing people on tax. They taking people, they throwing them through throwing them on chairs, throwing them through tables, doing the same thing that we see on TV. And they it's just basically nonsense. Just put it that way. Bunch of nonsense, guys. And that right there is not helping wrestling at all. And it's not helping wrestling that the WWE and AEW do so much of that it filters down to the indies, guys. Straight up, it does. It filters down to the indies, and I hate it 100%. My man Richard Hood, I see he sent me a message. I will get to you a little bit, Richard, but let me go ahead and try to get everybody, man, finished up with these comments. All right, Will Rally Sports said, Evolution All Women's pay-per-view on Saturday, July 13th, too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Will Rally Sport, hi, Ray, hi, Mag. Will Rally Sport says, hi, Lucas. Raymond says, hello, Will Rally Sport. All right, Christine says, even in Straight Up Wrestling family. Hope everyone is doing well. Will Riley Sports says, question, thoughts on Nikki Bella returning to WWE TV? Did you like it or think it's stupid? Brie Bella returning to is in news, probably for Evolution PLE. Thoughts on Bella's, Harry? Man, look, I really didn't think too much of them, to tell you the truth, but I do think it's a good thing for them to come back. They need to bring back as much nostalgia, especially if these girls still in shape. They're young or whatever. Bring back as much as they can. I mean, hey, if Ric Flair was still in shape to wrestle, I mean, good enough to wrestle, like, say, if he was in his late 50s or maybe 60, yeah, bring him back too if you can, because they definitely need people, but they need people that was in it for the business. Not saying the Bella Twins, yeah, they got some, they definitely got, that outside, they got outside pretty much popularity too. But somebody, they need people right now. Wrestling needs people like, they need a Ric Flair. I don't care. People can get out here and say they need another Stone Cold Steve Austin. They need, oh gosh, guys, I got a phone call here in just a moment. People might think they need another Rock or John Cena. They don't need that. They need somebody that's known as a pure wrestler. Give me just a moment.
Hey, did you get it installed on your laptop then?
I sure did. Thank you.
Did it take care of it?
It sure did.
Well, that's what friends are for.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it. I'm online. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. But yes. All right, let me get to. But yeah, the Brie Bella, the Bellas, yeah. Hey, I have no problem with them coming back. To tell you the truth, they definitely need them. They need them straight up. Do I think they're gonna end up putting a whole bunch of people in the seats? Probably at first, but if you're gonna do that, you need those house shows. But do I think they're gonna put people in the seats in the big time shows? At SmackDowns and Raws, probably a little bit at first, but after a while, it's pretty much you're gonna still be at the same place that you were before. They are not gonna move the needle, guys. When it boils down to it, not at all. All right, Max says, I have a feeling every faction will want Ron Killings. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that right there is not going to shock me at all either, Mag. Max says, greetings, Will Riley. Raymond says, hello, my brother, Mag Magnum. Will Riley Sports says, got some questions for you, Harry. Hope you don't mind. Thoughts on Mr. Iguana? Craze, everyone loves him. Did you see him on Worlds Collide? And would you think it would work on WWE TV main roster? No. No. It will to a certain point, but he's going to be. It's going to be just like Penta or Ray Phoenix or, any of those guys like that, man. Do I think somebody like that is going to move the needle, is really going to draw a whole bunch of fans to it? I mean, as far as, maybe Hispanics, Lucha Libre fans and things, maybe to a certain point. But no, because now in Mexico, places like that, yeah, he's going to draw a lot of fans. He's going to draw a lot of fans on TV. But as far as WWE TV, no, I don't think so. I mean, wrestling has to have transcendent stars as far as, and I know you from England. Will Riley Sport, but I'm gonna go ahead and be real with you. Americans like American stars. Now we love people like, now of course we love Drew McIntyre. Hey man, it's a whole bunch of other people. I don't know why in the world things are just dropping out of my head. But we love Lyra Valkyrie. We love people like that. Love Becky Lynch and all that. But when it boils down to it, America comes out for American stars. They do. It doesn't matter what sport is in. They want to see an American dominate that sport. Especially if it's a sport that's basically been popularized by American audiences. Americans like for an American to dominate that sport. Like we haven't dominated in boxing in a long time. Really haven't had a lot of dominant boxers. And I mean, the heavyweight title was always our title. The heavyweight boxing title was our title for a long time. And man, even though we love Vladimir Klitschko, he had that belt for a long time, man. We love Lennox Lewis too, but Americans were hoping, but you better believe that they would lose that title to an American more than they was loving those guys. That's all it is to it. In basketball, we have, let's see, who's, man, I can't even think of the names now. For the Denver Nuggets, who is the dominant center for the Denver Nuggets, and the guy who plays with the Lakers now used to play with the Celtics. I can't even think of the names. I don't know why I can't think of the names. Two of my favorite players, but as great as they are, and I mean, they, you know, that center, I forgot his name for the Denver Nuggets. Somebody go ahead and say his name. But he's the most popular player. I mean, he's the best player in the NBA. But America is trying to find their next superstar. They are trying, you know, definitely trying to manufacture LeBron, but hey, it's been proven time and time again. I'm sorry, he's not it. He's not Michael Jordan. But America wants a basketball player from the United States to dominate that game. We look at it as our game. That's all it is to it, man. I'm not trying to be funny. Somebody come from another country and they dominate the NFL, you better believe the NFL, people in the United States are going to want an NFL player dominating that game. That's just how it is. Straight up, man. That's just how we are. So, you know, like I say, even though we like Drew McIntyre, who else, man? Sheamus, a lot of these other guys, we love them, man. We love them, and they can get the titles and everything, but they are not going to pretty much have the fans in the United States gravitate toward them like an All-American boy. It is what it is. It really is. All right, let's see. Will Riley Sports says, hi, Christine. Mag says one of my DJ names was Blake Hunter. Blake is definitely a man's name. Yes, sir, Mag. All right, Will Riley Sports, WWE just want to counter AEW's biggest show of the year. Yes, sir. AEW all in to take the focus away from it. Petty is the word. Yes, sir. Will Riley Sport, I've never heard any girl or woman called Blake. I've heard men called Blake. Yes, sir. Richard Hood, what's up, Harry? What's up, Richard? Richard, I'll get to you, man, on Messenger in a little bit. All right, Richard Hood says, Harry, Jerry Oates is doing better. I am glad to hear that, guys. And if you never saw the Oates brothers, man, Jerry and Ted, hey, you missing a treat. Hey, I grew up watching them guys. Of course, I was watching wrestling back in the 70s and 80s, so definitely know them. Mag Magnum would know who they are. Alma Clark would know who they are. I don't think Christine probably would, even though Christine is in our age group a little bit older, but Christine probably won't know who Jerry and Ted Oates are. They were regional stars, guys, in Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, in the Central States area. They was stars out there too, but you know, they was regional stars, man. Very, very talented tag team. Didn't get their just due, if you ask me. Should have been world champions. Love Jerry and Ted Oates, man. I love those guys. All right, Will Riley Sports says, hi, Richard. Christine said, hey, Mag, hope you had a good day. All right, Richard Hood said, they are making a mockery of the business. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Christine says, I was disgusted with Money in the Bank. I turned it off after the women's match. I struggled through the whole thing, Christine, but it had to be done. Just like I got to go back. I didn't watch Monday Night Raw, but I got to watch it. I got to go and watch everything. But right now, I definitely got to get into this thing and start watching everything in wrestling that I can. Because, man, I just got to see it. I got to see what's going on. And you guys probably going to start seeing me doing 15-minute and 20-minute videos. Sometimes it's going to be just videos, sometimes lives. And I'm going to come on and I'm going to talk about certain things going on in wrestling. But I got to talk about it, man. I got to see what's going on because there's so many things that I see right now just ridiculous. And that's why I asked, man, live, asking people if wrestling can stay alive, man. Because, hey, to me, it's taking a dive. It is taking a dive. And I don't know if they know how to control it, to tell you the truth, because sometimes you can get to the point where there's not enough, there's not enough territories or there's not enough big opportunities for these guys as far as TV go. Now, there's plenty of opportunities out there on the indie scene for these guys, but hey, everybody know on the indies, man, these guys could be wrestling in front of anywhere from 20 to, I say 30 to 80 people on, and that's a good night, man. 70, 80, that's a good night. But that's what these people are wrestling in front of. That's what these guys are wrestling in front of. And it's a shame. It really is. But, man, the indies are just, it's a lot of them out there. A lot of them out there, especially here in the Carolinas. In Georgia, you can take a rock and throw it to the next town. I mean, to the next indie show. You know, walk out of one and right down the road, man, a mile and a half. There's another one going on. It's flat out crazy. But man, this we need territories. And that's one thing I want to talk about now. As far as the NWA talking about they was going to do it, they wasn't able to do it because they got caught with all that stuff. But the WWE need to split that brand up, and they need not just split the brand up between SmackDown and Raw. I think they need to split the WWE up. You need to have WWE East, WWE West, WWE South, and WWE maybe just the WWE main brand. So split it up into 4 brands and have them come on at different times. Or you could do something like pretty much what they used to do with Fox Sports. Fox used to have like Fox Sports South, Fox East, Fox West. They used to have that. And you can show wrestling at different times across the country. Now, of course, with the internet, we're going to find out what was going on in these other places, but you can black things out. And man, hey, I hate to say it, they need to do it. They definitely need to do it because you got so many stars. You got so much talent that you could take wrestlers from these different areas, man, put them on different coasts in the United States, and you can put titles on these guys and then have them come together for the big shows. Raw could be your big, huge show on Monday nights, but you have these you can set up a Thursday night show, a Friday night show, maybe Thursday night show, a Friday night and Saturday morning, and a Saturday night, and maybe a Sunday night. But you definitely can have your Facebook and SmackDown, not your Facebook. You definitely can have your Raw and you can have your SmackDown as your big shows, and everybody come together, man. For those shows, you bring the best out of those regions. But something has to be done, guys. Something has to be done. Of course, Tony Khan, I don't think he can do it, but Tony Khan could do a little split. He could do something like that, but I just don't think he's organized enough to do it. But the WWE, of course, they're not organized enough to do it. Vince was, but they definitely need to do that, man. I think they need to split that thing up into factions, and not factions, but man, be like Def Jam was. Def Jam South, Def Jam East, Def Jam West, or whatever. Split that thing up, man, because what you have now is just flat out crazy. And of course, they got NXT. They got this other thing that's coming on. They got this thing that this thing that comes on whatever on X. They definitely formerly known as Twitter. Now it's known as X or whatever. They definitely have that coming on too. But man, I just don't know. All I know, I'll take that back. All I know is they need to split this thing up. If you're going to save wrestling, if WWE wants to be credited with that thing, split it up. Split your talent up. Split some of your talent up, and so you can have people going across the country. And man, people show pride in that. I believe people will show pride in, this is the wrestling that I get to see on the East Coast. The WWE that I get to see on the East Coast. This is what I get to see on the West Coast. This is what I get to see down south. And it will create that feeling of your regional promotions, and you get competent people that run these things, man. You definitely can have something special once again. But in my opinion, it needs to happen. It really does. All right, Christine says, in AEW last night, I was so sick with the freaking Moxley and crew, I turned it off. I don't blame you there. The Moxley just, oh my gosh. Christine Salsa Girl and those moron brothers, why did they even come back? I'm so disgusted all the way around. Richard Hood says, hi, Will Rally Sport. And speaking of the AEW, that Fighter Fest, not yesterday, but Fighter Fest the week before, they started off at 800,000 fans. By the time Fighter Fest was over, 238,000 people or 242, something like it was in the 240s or 230,000s. They lost about 600,000 fans, guys. 600,000 fans. That's ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. Straight up. How in the world can you have that many fans turn that off? Be like, man, look, I'm not looking at this garbage anymore. Especially when Collision started. They started losing fans like crazy. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. All right, Richard says, hi, Will Riley Sport. Will Riley Sport says, I was just happy Bayley returned and attacked Becky Lynch, so that should be good feud. Shouldn't it, Harry? Did you see that on Raw? I did see that. What a great Raw on Monday, I thought. I did see that. And, man, I hope they're able to do something with Bayley. They have got to, in my opinion, she definitely need to push herself too, but they need to do something with Bayley this time. They really do. I think she's an outstanding competitor, and Becky Lynch is the best. When it comes to female wrestling, she's one of the top three, if not number one. She is incredible, and man, I definitely hope they do something with that feud. But hey, I'm not gonna forget about my girl Lyra Valkyrie. She's coming up, and they definitely gotta figure out something, some kind of way to keep her in the spotlight. We're Riley Sport. Okay, Harry, thanks for explaining. No problem. We're Riley Sport. Yeah, wasn't the best, Christine. I'm squeamish. So with Omega blood everywhere, people getting tied up, thumbtacks. What the hell is going on over there at AEW? Yeah, that's crazy. Will Riley Sports says Indies is getting released. Ex-WWE wrestlers at the moment with the likes of Shotzi, Matt Cardona, everywhere, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, lots of people. Izzy Moreno, good. Hopefully WWE sign her and versus Bayley. That would be great. Will Riley Sport will be awesome to see Bayley, super fan. If you don't know who she is, a wrestler on the Indies now. Wow. Will said, not sure if you saw Will Ospreay's girlfriend, Alex Windsor, British female wrestler, has signed with AEW. Wow, I didn't know that. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know her because I'm English. Bet Ospreay happy. Yeah, I definitely know who you're talking about. Will Riley Sport, Ospreay is easily the best wrestler in the ring. Yeah, he's outstanding. He's definitely outstanding. In all wrestling, do you agree he's amazing? Isn't he? Yes, he is. But the thing about it is, they do not know how to grab all that. They do not know how to pretty much maximize what he has, maximize the potential that Will Ospreay has. And it's sad. It really is. Richard said, Harry, that's a great idea about the WWE splitting up the territories. Yes, sir. Thank you. But yeah, man, that's something I've been thinking about for a while. But yeah, that's something that they need to do. And I wish I could not pretty much Triple H, because he probably wouldn't listen to me or whatever. But if I could run into somebody from Endeavor or TKO Holdings, I'll say, hey, look, this is what you need to do. Man, I got the whole plan and everything, how everything should be ran if you ran it from that standpoint. But in my opinion, that's the way it should be ran, because that way you will have these guys being competitive. You will have Road Dogg. You will have Shawn Michaels. You will have Triple H. You will have these guys, and you have a couple other people come in to help run these things, man. And you will have these guys competing. And I really do think you'll get a feel of the regional territories. And these people will have time to pretty much run some storylines. And you make your pay-per-views. You do 4, maybe 5 a year. And you make your pay-per-views very good, and you take the best out of each and every one of those territories, and you put together a great pay-per-view, and people will gravitate toward that. Man, people will rock it out. You will have some big shows. You will have some great shows, straight up. All right, Real Rally Sports says, that is a good idea, splitting up territories, Harry. Thumbs up. Thank you. Richard said, Harry, do you think the style of wrestling should be different within the territories? Yes. Of course, you don't take away, which I try to tell my partner, tell the People's Podcast, that you don't take away the style of wrestling that they have today. But when it boils down to it, you wouldn't have as much. If you had territories, you'll have it, but you wouldn't have as many. We always had hot flyers. We always had people that could get up in the air and do special things, even all the way back to the 70s. You always had wrestlers who could do something different that was not traditional in the ring. I mean, you go all the way back to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. I mean, Ricky Steamboat with his martial arts, Mr. Saito and Mr. Fuji with their martial arts. You had Mil Mascaras, who was coming off, doing the Lucha Libre stuff. Back then, you had Dino Bravo and Gino Brito, who was doing a lot of high-flying stuff, even though Dino was a powerhouse, but Dino was cutting flips. He was doing a lot of things in the Mid-Atlantic Championship wrestling area. You had Rocky Soulman Johnson, at Sweet Ebony Diamond, doing a lot of the things that we see that these guys are doing today. He was cutting flips. He was doing all kinds of things. He wrestled different as Sweet Ebony Diamond than he does, and then he not does, but he wrestled different than what he did as Rocky Soulman Johnson, man. He added a lot of acrobatic stuff to that. So you had people that had that style back then. They might have not could have flipped over the rope and waited for somebody to catch them or whatever, but they definitely was doing a lot of different things going to the ropes. So we always had those people, man, back in the 70s and 80s. You know, we just did not see it as much. It didn't, you know, the Tiger Mask and people like that, the people that really went to the top ropes and did all those type of things. It was a special occasion to see them because we was more in tune with, you know, with the territory that was in our neighborhood, in our what we got to see. Where I live, this is what we saw. We saw Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and Georgia Championship Wrestling. Those are the two that I was mainly in tune with. I did everything I could to make sure I got Florida Championship Wrestling when I could. When I got Southwest Championship Wrestling when I could. World Class Championship Wrestling. But, you know, I didn't get to see Japan as much as I wanted to. I didn't get to see Portland as much as I wanted to. Didn't get to see Hawaii as much as I wanted to. So, you know, there was special times when you saw people that would come from these territories that wasn't in our territories, and they was doing something totally different. So that was a great time, man. That was a great time, you know, back then to see that. But now, because everybody is saturated in one single territory, the WWE, you ended up having a whole bunch of them in the WWE. You have a whole bunch of them in AEW. So then once you see a lot of them, it's not special. Yes, of course they're doing something special if they was wrestling back in our era. Because, I mean, Brian Pillman doing his stuff, flying Brian Pillman, even though people was flying and doing a lot of things similar, we thought it was special for him to do it because, you know, he made it look good. Of course, was he as good as Muta? Because Muta used to do a lot of high-flying things. Was he as good as Steamboat doing his high-flying body press up the ropes? No. Was he good as Jimmy Superfly Snuka doing the Superfly? No. But he was flying, man. He was doing some things, some high-flying things, had a little muscular body or whatever. He looked good doing it. So, but, yeah, as far as if you break it up like that, we're not going to see it as much. We will see it, but you won't have as many in those territories. So when we do get to see Axiom and Fraser, we're going to be like, oh, that's outstanding because maybe they came from, they came from WWE West and we're looking at WWE East. Let's see. And you might see who else. You got a lot of other people, man. Finn Balor, he does his thing, man. Those sling blades and everything, the slingshots and things like that. You know, we might be able to see that, somebody that's over on, on mountain, the Mountain West or the West Coast. And like I say, and somebody who's WWE South, they might get to see him. People in Louisiana and people in, down in Louisiana, Alabama, so say Louisiana, WWE South, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, that's the South and, Arkansas. Say you take those 4 states and maybe a little bit, and you can pretty much filter over into North Carolina, South Carolina a little bit. But you could take those states and pretty much make that WWE South. But you want to take like New York, you want to take New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, pretty much Washington, D.C., all the way down to South Carolina, man, and make that WWE East. That's all on the East Coast. Bring that on the East Coast, and then you have your West Coast, man, with California, with Washington State, with Vegas, with let's see who else, Oregon, those places, all that out there be WWE West. But you can do so many great things, and then you have the Midwest. You take the Midwest territories, which was the AWA with Wisconsin, with Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, and those and make WWE Midwest. I mean, you got so many things you can do, and you can do Southwest, or you can take Texas and Oklahoma and all those great states, and you can put them in the West Coast, or you can make it Southwest. So WWE can really split it up into like 6 different factions, 6 different territories, man, and it wouldn't hurt at all. And like I say, you block out. You don't let people see that stuff. Of course, they're going to see it because we got the internet. Everybody's going to see it. But, man, people are not going to take the time out to try to see that whole complete show and everything. So what you're going to get is going to be very special. It's going to be just like the wrestling books. We had to read wrestling books to find out what was going on in the territories that we didn't get to see. And it was so special when we got to see those wrestlers come through our territory. Or maybe those wrestlers get on to a Crockett pay-per-view that we got to see in the wrestling magazines and everything, man. It was just outstanding. It was outstanding. And I definitely will. I wish the WWE could hear this, and I wish the WWE can actually do it, guys. Share alike. But I wish they would do something like that, guys. Straight up. All right. Let's see. All right, Will Rally Sport. I'll get to it in just a moment. All right, Richard Hood, Harry, that's a great idea about the WWE splitting up territories. Will Rally Sport, the only reason it had 800,000 is because people left the TV on out the NBA. Only reason that's why viewing figures went down, my opinion. Not sure if you agree. I agree with you 100%. I didn't know the NBA was their lead in that night. Will Rally Sport, that is a good idea, splitting up territories, Harry. Richard said, Harry, do you think the style of wrestling should be different from the territories? Just explain that. Will Riley Sport, you missed my comment, Harry. 800,000 comment. No offense. Yeah, man, I got it down. Thank you, Will Riley Sport. But yeah, the NBA, of course, that's a great, and that, NBA finals, so that's a great lead in. Will Riley Sport, question: do you think the Triple A partnership ownership is doing okay so far? Have you noticed not one mention of Alberto Del Rio? No, yeah, exactly. They definitely haven't mentioned him on WWE TV yet. Vikingo everywhere. Laughing out. I am a Sorrell fan. I love Sorrell. I love it too, man. So can't stand Del Rio. Boo! I hear you, my man. Richard Hood said Bill Eadie changed his style from when he was a Mongol to when he became the superstar. Yes, he did, Richard. Yes, he did. Man, I used to love the Mongols. Love Bill Eadie, though. Bill Eadie man, he was special. Bill Eadie was special. Maddo, what's up, Mr. All Days Off? All right, Captain Commander says, what's up? What's up, Captain Commander? We're Riley Sport. Remember Dana Brooke and Xia Ali? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In WWE, not really doing much, nowhere near title picture. You should see them on TNA. Now, Dana Brooke, tag champ. Z had title match, last pay-per-view, good for them. Oh, yeah. Mr. All Days Off said, Will Rally. Will Rally Sport, I like it when people do better and get a chance to shine out the WWE, like Matt Cardona. In the best example, most famous indie wrestler in the world. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. Christine Saucy Girl, jumping tracks, completely here for you. Golfers Patrick Reed scored a rare albatross, singing his second shot on a par 5 from 211 yards. Oh, my gosh. First time since 2012. That is crazy, Christine. That is awesome. All right. Will Riley Sports says, hi, Mr. All Days Off. Matt says, isn't Roberto Del Rio blacklisted? I believe he is, and that's just crazy. Christine Saucy Girl, that was the U.S. Open on a hole that was 611 yards long. That, man, wow. Mr. All Days Off, is Mark Henry and Jerry Lynn's birthday today. Yeah, happy birthday to Mark Henry and to everybody else out here in the wrestling land, man, that's checking out Straight Up Wrestling show. But happy birthday to Mark Henry and Jerry Lynn, man. Hey, Jerry Lynn, another one of my favorites. But, yeah, definitely happy birthday to both of them. But, yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in. Hey, and if you on here, man, before you leave out of here, definitely hit that like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, 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 so you know we're on like times like these. And, man, go ahead and like, share. But, yeah, man, let me talk about a couple other things before I get out of here. Man, I think I'm going to cover pretty much everything. But, yeah, it's getting back to, like I say, R-Truth. I went over R-Truth. Now, this thing with Gunther, as much as I wanted Gunther to have the title back, Jey Uso, I think what he had the title, about 5 weeks? Man, if you're going to put the title on him, you need to milk it a little bit more. They should have kept the title on the guy. They should have played this thing on out a little bit more, because now you're making him look weak, guys. They are making him look weak. I just don't understand it. And the John Cena thing, it's a fail, guys. It's a fail. I mean, John Cena, man, these people that these movie fans or whatever, most of us fans are wrestling fans. Now, of course, there's people that go to movies that watch him in the movies that don't even know he was a wrestler, or they know he was a wrestler, but they don't care nothing about his wrestling career. Fans are not checking for John Cena like that, man. They just not. They're not even coming. Movie buffs are not even coming through when The Rock is on the show. Now, do they ratings pick up? Do the ratings of the WWE pick up? Yes, because fans from AEW, people that really love The Rock, they come check it out. That's why they pick up. That's why they pick up in fans. But they are not picking up any fans outside of the wrestling market. They are not doing that. So wrestling, they need to think about exactly what they're doing and say, hey, we need to pick up fans outside of the wrestling population. Because if you don't, you're going to die. You're going to die. Straight up. Wrestling needs fans outside of wrestling, guys. Or they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Hey, Gen X is getting older, man. My generation getting older. But baby boomers are getting older. They'll be out of here soon. You know, not a lot of baby boomers are watching WWE anyway. In Gen X, you still got a lot of us watching it, a lot of us are not. And the millennials, they're getting tired of it. They got so much to do. In Gen Z, they don't care. Of course, they got a lot of fans in Gen Z, but they really don't care. And things take their attention away very fast. Man, look, just like what the word of God says. You know, I'm going to go ahead and throw some little religion in here. In wrestling, fans are like religious zealots when it boils down to it. You know, the Bible says, it tells us 100%. You know, Jesus said, hey, I didn't come to save the righteous. And that's what he's saying. I didn't come to try to get the righteous in the church or whatever, into the church, into the gospels, to hear the gospels if they're already righteous, if they already know. You know, that's what he was saying. I didn't come to save the righteous. Same thing with wrestling. You're not going out there trying to grab wrestling fans and see what they think. You are trying to gain new fans. Any business should try to grab new fans. Wrestling is not doing that. They are very unsuccessful in doing that. And the person that could do it, that could bring in the fans, is Cody Rhodes. But you got to make Cody Rhodes legendary, guys. And I mean, he's got to have a legendary run a la Ric Flair. He does. He does. You got to have somebody who knows how to make a storyline, make storylines, and to book him like he was Nature Boy Ric Flair. I'm talking about legendary feuds that people are going to sink their teeth into. And the wrestlers are out here. You have enough talented wrestlers out here to where Cody Rhodes could have a legendary run, legendary career, man. You can line these guys up. And to where, like I say, Cody Rhodes, his book, Cody Rhodes, his itinerary, whatever you want to call it, or, you know, his legacy can be left long lasting, just like Ric Flair. He could look that good as a champion if you put a title on him for maybe 2 years and have a rundown of great wrestlers going after that title. Every 3 months, another feud starting up, kicking up. And you can't say you don't have the wrestlers. You got AJ Styles. You got Finn Balor. You got Sheamus. You got Drew McIntyre. You got CM Punk. You got so many. You got Seth freaking Rollins. Braun Breaker. You got so many that could give him these legendary feuds. And Cody Rhodes, anybody he wrestles, guys, he makes they look good. When they wrestle Cody Rhodes, he's like Flair. Cody Rhodes know how to make his opponent look good. And Cody Rhodes look good against everybody that he wrestles. Everybody. He don't have to turn heel to be great, guys. He don't. Maximize, look and see what you got. Maximize the potential you have. Straight up. And Gunther, man, hey, in my opinion, they have hurt Gunther. They have hurt his career big time. Gunther should have been like Vader. I'm talking about Big Van Vader. I'm talking about his WCW run when he had the title and he was holding off people like Sting. He was holding off Ron Simmons for a while there. He was holding off Lex Luger. It took Ric Flair to come back into WCW to take the title off of him. And he gave Ric Flair a hard time. That's the type of run that Gunther needs to be on. But Gunther needs to go down like a Bruiser Brody, Angelo Moscow. If you guys don't know who King Kong Moscow is, you need to look him up. He need to be another Killer Khan or somebody like that. Killer Kowalski. Not Killer Khan. Killer Kowalski. Killer Khan was okay, but Killer Kowalski. Man, I don't know what they're doing. I don't. And Jay, you can put Jay back with his brother, and you have a chance to make this great tag team. Take Ray Phoenix, and make sure he gets on the same brand as his brother. You got a great tag team there. You got a great tag team in Jimmy and Jay. You got the Street Profits. You can bring them up a level. You have Ivar and Eric. You got those guys, man. The Viking Raiders, Minnesota Vikings, or whatever you want to call them. The Las Vegas Raiders. You got those guys. And you got some other tag teams too. Axiom is a great tag team. Right now you got to combine both brands. You got to combine both brands as far as those tag teams. But you got a lot of great tag teams. You can make your tag team division legendary. I don't want to hear anything about, any tag teams great until I see another tag team division. I haven't seen a great tag team division since the early 90s. Straight up. So I was listening to, I saw, what is his name? I saw Bubba, no, I saw one of the Dudley Boys. And Booker T was talking. Look, man, I'm gonna say what I have to say about both of them. Now, Booker T, he really put down not Bully Ray, was it? Who was the other one, man? The black guy. He really put him down, and he gave them like a C+ as far as who they are, a C or whatever. I think he said C+. That's how he rated the Dudley, the Dudley Boys or whatever you want to call them. I really didn't pay a lot of attention to them. I did go over there and used to watch them, and I used to be like, why in the world people are all up in arms about these guys and act like they're great or whatever. Harlem Heat, a lot of people want to put them high up as far as in the tag team, as far as upper echelon, as far as tag teams. I thought they was a great tag team, but they are nowhere near, pretty much, let's say, not going to say they don't deserve to be Hall of Fame. They are Hall of Fame status guys. They definitely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame as a tag team. But would I put them in the top 7 tag teams of all time? No flipping way. No way. Were they good? Yeah, they was good during their time. Harlem Heat was good. I love Booker T. Love Stevie Ray. But Booker T and Stevie Ray did not go through the gauntlet. They did not fight a tag team division that Midnight Express went through, that the Rock and Roll Express went through, that Lex Luger and Sting went through, the Steiner brothers went through, Ron Bass and Black Bart. Let's see, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard and the Road Warriors. All those guys was in WCW at the same time. Well, when it was Crockett, they was all in there at the same time. Those 7 tag teams. And then you had other tag teams in there too with them. The Lightning Express, Brad Armstrong and Tim Harner. You had that was tag team wrestling, guys. That was tag team wrestling. And man, after that, the 80s tag team wrestling scene, early 90s, I mean, it was still decent in the early 90s, but you had people like the Nasty Boys, Harlem Heat, you had Motor City Madman or whatever. You had goofy tag teams. Ice Train and his partner, I can't remember his partner's name, another big guy. But, man, Marcus Badwell and Too Cold Scorpio, people like that, they was okay. It was stronger than what we have today. But that was a weakened tag team. The tag team, when Harlem Heat dominated tag team wrestling, when they won 11 WCW World Tag Team Championships, they was going through a weak tag team division, you ask me. They didn't have to, when Doom had the tag team titles, man, there was a lot of competition at that time as far as tag teams, even though it was getting a little watered down too at that time. But Doom had to go through some mad competition to win their titles. So, look, man, competition means a lot to me. So when I hear them up there, Street Profits, winning titles or whatever, this is one of the greatest tag teams ever. I'm like, guys, stop lying. Stop lying. You guys sound foolish. These guys sound foolish. And these guys, man, pretty much, dang, what Christine was talking about earlier, I forgot their names. Oh, gosh. These 2 brothers, man, or whatever, over in AEW, man, that's a joke. That's a joke. Not saying they're not good. They're very talented. I think they're talented. You have some talented tag teams. But, I cannot blame it all on the wrestlers, guys. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I blame it on the people that's writing the shows. I blame it on the people that's booking these things. Everything. Why these guys can't be great. Why these wrestlers today can't be great. I blame it on bookers, guys. I blame it on the booking. I blame it on storytelling. I blame it on every single thing. I blame it on the promoters before I blame it on the wrestlers. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. I don't know if you guys used to watch Friends, but guys, smelly cat. It's not your fault or whatever. I can't blame it on these guys. It's not their fault, guys. It really isn't. They in the rock. These wrestlers are very frustrated today. They caught between a rock and a hard place. Really are. Let me go ahead and get some more of these comments here. All right, Christine, that was the U.S. Open on a hole that was 611 yards out. That is crazy. Christine said, did you see the photo of Mark Henry with a blonde wig on? No, I didn't see it. Don't know if I want to see that either. Christine, they give Jay no respect at all. I think Jay got his just due. I really do. Now, do I think he should have had the title taken off of him that early? No. But I think he got his just due, Christine, when it boils down to it. He really did. He got his just due and more. All right, Captain Commander says, I'm a grown man and I almost cried tears of joy when Truth came back. Hey, a lot of people did, Captain Commander. Christine says, Captain, that's so cool. Richard Hood says, Harry, for Cody Rhodes to have a legendary run, you will have to keep the belt on him for a long time. Yes, you would. You would. And it definitely will work, man. The guy is very popular and was selling more merchandise. He's one of the top 10, I think top 10 people in the country to sell the merchandise. And I'm talking out of all athletes. Straight up. Richard Hood, back in the day, it was hard to get the belt off a world champion, and that's why they were legends. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They held them belts for years. Incredible. Lucas said, okay, now are you sending yes or no? I need to know. No, not today, Lucas. I'll get you a little bit later. Richard Hood said Scott Norton. Yes, Scott Norton was something. Yeah, Scott Norton was with Ice Train. That's who it was. I thought it was him, but I didn't want to say it. I was like, was it Scott Norton? I was thinking that was him, but I wasn't sure. I thought he was with him for a little bit. But yeah, they used to call themselves Fire and Ice, right? Or something like that. Something like that. But man, Scott Norton is whoo. He didn't get his just due either, man. What an outstanding competitor. Richard Harry, if it wasn't for the NAACP, Doom would have not gotten the scraps. Wow, that is crazy. Christine Saucy Girl, why can't they be great and win without being dirty or cheating in order to win? Christine, they have no clue how to book that. They don't. Mag says WWE storylines are just awful. Yes, sir. Vince's storylines were hit and miss. Yes, they were. But mostly were hits. The new WWE owners are in unknown waters with all this title switch every time a wrestler gets more pop. Yes. They going with whoever's most popular. 100%. Lucas said 8 more days until my birthday. Happy birthday, Lucas. Can't wait, man. Let us know. Keep us informed. No, LOL. Lucas says no. So today is Thursday. So next Friday is your birthday. So I think. So yeah, we're going to keep that in mind. I think next Friday is Lucas' birthday. But everybody go ahead and hit those like buttons before you get on out of here, man. Appreciate you coming in, rocking with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. But I did go over the time that I wanted to go over. But guys, 100%, I appreciate you coming in and rocking with me. And man, I want to check one more thing before I get out of here, because I do got to go by. I told my brother I was going to come by. All right, Jamie Slagle's in the house. Chris Thompson, my man, Dump Truck. Richard said, what's up, Harry? Jerry O's is doing good. Max Savage came in the house, said, what's up? Glenn T. White says, sup? Glenn T. White, my man in the building. Jamie Slagle, the best is here, baby. James Ramsey, what makes wrestling die? And why do you think it hasn't died yet? What will make, are you asking, James, what makes wrestling die? Man, look, wrestling is dying. It's on its deathbed. You may not think that, and the WWE makes it look all glamorous to us all. They got the money to do that. They make it seem like a big spectacle, and it's all glamorous, and everything is okay. But it's not. It's not, man. They are in desperation mode. They really are. But they got the money right now to get us by pretty much anybody they want to. There's no doubt about that. They can pretty much get anybody they want to in this business, and they know that. But man, we'll see. We'll see. They still have the inside track, and they can build this thing up. They're not dead yet. They definitely not going to be, dying within the next few years. But if they continue on this path that they're going downhill. It's going to happen, man, sooner or later, because you just can't keep on. You just can't keep on treating the fans the way that they treat them. You just can't. Straight up. Man, but James, and you on the indie scenes, you one of our wrestlers. You James Self-Standard. I mean, man, look. I mean, most of the wrestlers out here, even the ones on the indies, they don't really care, man. They go out there and all they want is their little bit of money that they get, and it's a small amount of money. And they go on to the next town. But they're not really looking at who the fans are that's coming to see their shows. They're really not. Man, you can just look at the difference of the audience. Look at the differences of the audience, and you can tell wrestling is changed. Back when the Nature Boy Ric Flair was ruling the game, Ricky Steamboat, even over in the, superstar Billy Graham, you even go to the WWF, Hulk Hogan, Rick Martel, all those guys, Paul Orndorff, even in AWA, Jesse the Body Ventura, the Road Warriors. Go back and look at old film and look at the females that was out at these shows. Go and look at the females that was in the house in these little studios. Look at the females back then compared to what is out in the shows now. Look at AEW shows. Hardly any females. And, I hate to say this, but what happened to all the beautiful women that used to come to the wrestling shows? Used to be a lot of beautiful women coming to the wrestling shows. That's how you tell that wrestling is not where it used to be. I hate to say it. But man, I tell you, you used to go to some wrestling. You could go to wrestling shows back in my teen years, my early years and 20s. You look around, man, there was beautiful girls at these shows, beautiful women at these shows. You go to AEW, man, most of them, 80% of them are males. When I was growing up, there was more female fans than males. In most instances, there was more females than males watching wrestling. Now, maybe not on TV, but there was more females at the shows. I say anywhere from 55 to 60%. A lot of times was females. Can't say that today. All right. Lucas said, my pleasure. Thanks, dude. And you are correct. Happy early birthday, Lucas. Mag was saying, my birthday is on June 20th. I'll take that as a happy early birthday. Captain says, no disrespect to us fans, but they lose me when they do super kicks every 5 seconds. Yes, sir. That's Jay Uso, man. That's the Uso brothers. All right, Lucas saying, thanks, dude. My pleasure. Bye. Mag says, have a great evening, Harry and chat. You too, Magnum. And Christine says, great show. Harry, go to see everyone. Good night. Good night. All stay safe. Yeah, good night to everybody, guys. I'm going to have to let you go. I appreciate everybody coming on, rocking with Straight Up Wrestling Show. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. Definitely doing the show tomorrow. Stay straight up. If it ain't SmackDown, it's going to be something else. Stay straight up. Peace.